YouTube, this is Matthew, and today I wanted to do a little awards for some games that I think that should be given gratitude for their complete awesomeness and just the overall just awesome gameplay and just the enjoyment of spending hours and hours grinding, giving your thumbs arthritis and pain just for the sheer enjoyment of enjoying these fabulous works of arts that are called video games. I will be focusing on Xbox 360 because that is the current console I have now. My PlayStation 3 sadly died, and the Wii, I don't really use it as much. I only use it as like a backup. It's not my primary game console. I only use it as a backup. So the Xbox 360 is my primary console. So that will be the console that I will be focusing on right now. With the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and the Wii U, dugging it out for their top spot, which in my opinion the PlayStation 4 is currently the top dog right now, with the Wii U and Xbox One fighting for second and third. Soon the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and Wii will be a memory soon. All three manufacturers, Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo, they both said that they will be slowly removing support for those consoles and slowly giving only support for the new generation. So soon these consoles will be a memory, and it's a real shame because Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii, respectfully for all three consoles, has brought amazing game titles for us to enjoy. Many hours have been spent and a lot of money has been spent on these consoles respectfully, and all three consoles should be given a round of applause just by the sheer awesomeness that they have brought upon us, with games such as, too many to tell. It's just pure awesomeness. But we're gonna be today. My first award video will be on the first-person shooter genre for the Xbox 360. I started this first because first-person shooter genre is a very popular genre on the Xbox 360 because of the online service that Microsoft has, Xbox Live. Now, I think the Xbox 360, pretty much majority of the games that they have for Xbox 360 are actually first-person shooters, and Xbox 360 does have a lot of first-person shooters to choose from. So this was very difficult for me to choose the number one best first-person shooter. I mean, it's just Xbox 360 really does have a lot of first-person shooters to choose from. Countless hours of playing the first-person shooters I have, and countless hours of watching videos of first-person shooter games that I have not played or have not played recently. So let's start this off with number 3. Now, number 3 on my list is by far pretty controversial for a lot of people, for a lot of my friends that I asked, but I felt this game was number 3 for a lot of reasons, and I'm going to tell you about it in a few seconds. But my number 3 pick is Crysis 3 for the Xbox 360. Yes, if you guys don't know what Crysis 3 is, I will give down links in the description for Crysis 3 Wikipedia and so forth and so forth. Why is it number 3 in my book? As awesome as the game is, I feel Crysis has not been properly ported onto consoles. That's why it's on the number 3 spot. For that very same reason. The game looks phenomenal. The mechanics of the game is great. But this game is awesome on the PC. The PC really brings out this game's full potential. And that is the reason why it is number 3 on my list, because this game is not really, you can really tell playing it that this game really deserves to be on the PC and not really on Xbox 360. They did a great job porting it by keeping what is great about the game great, but if you want the full-blown awesomeness, epicness of Crysis 3, I recommend getting a gaming rig PC. Just for that fact that this game just, in my opinion, just does not look as great as it should be, and that is because of the hardware limitations of the Xbox 360. Moving on to number 2. Now, number 2 was a really hard choice between number 1 and number 2. Now, a lot of you guys are going to hate me, but I'll give my reasons why number 2 is not number 1 and number 1 is not number 2. So just to give you the fact. Number 2, Battlefield 4. Yes, not Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. The new installment in the Battlefield franchise is not on my number 1 list, and I will tell you guys right now why. The reason why this game is not really number 1 is for 2 things. 1, the game is single player and a multiplayer. The game has a single player campaign, and the single player campaign is really, let me find the right word for it, boring. Yes, absolutely boring. The voice acting is just horrible. It's very generic, not really that much depth, emotion. The campaign storyline is very rudimentary at best, very basic, very linear, doesn't really give much flexibility. And this game, with the Frostbite 3 engine, I felt really is made for the next generation consoles, Xbox One and PlayStation 4, as well as PC, respectfully. I really don't. The game looks good on the Xbox 360, considering the lifespan Xbox 360 has. The graphics do look good, but this game is clearly next generation. I think they ported this game for the Xbox 360 just to give the fans what they want, just for the fact that Call of Duty Ghost is on the Xbox 360, and they still wanted to be competitive with the last generation as well as the current generation. So I feel that is why they ported this game out for the Xbox 360. But the graphics on this game really does not look phenomenally epicness great. I felt this new engine, it was really made for next generation and PC. I just think they just ported it off on just to stay competitive with Call of Duty Ghost that is on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii U, and PC. So I think that's why. So reason why it's number 2, multiplayer, awesome. The multiplayer is awesome on Battlefield 4. But the single-player campaign is very stale, very linear, and just, it doesn't feel real enough. The voice acting does not feel real enough. It feels very stale, very slow-paced, as well as the graphics, I feel, are more for next generation than actually on this generation. So that's why it's number 2. Now, my number 1, yes, this was very hard for me. Tell you guys right now, it's not Call of Duty Ghost. I'm saying it right now, it's not Call of Duty Ghost. Call of Duty Ghost did not make my list at all. I felt the game was horrible. The storyline was not good. The multiplayer is just the same Call of Duty. If you played if you played the other Call of Duties, you're not missing much on Ghost. It's pretty much the same thing. So that's why Call of Duty did not make my list. It is just the same redundance. Been done too many times before. My number 1. This is a shocker, but very hard, but my number 1 is Bioshock Infinite. Yes, Bioshock Infinite made my number 1 list for the best first-person shooter on the Xbox 360. Hands down, Bioshock took my top spot for these main reasons. Reason number 1, the game looks beautiful. It looks beautiful on all the consoles that it has been released. It looks beautiful on the Xbox 360. It looks beautiful on PC. It looks beautiful everywhere. The graphics just look beautiful on everything that this game came out for. All the consoles it came out for, the graphics just look amazing. Beautiful. That's why I was really surprised. I was like, wow, the game really looks good. Even on the Xbox 360, it looks good. I was really shocked about that. Number 2, The single-player campaign, the storyline in Bioshock Infinite is just one of the best storylines I have seen in a video game. One of the best. I mean, the campaign plot line is as good as I feel like RPG storyline in terms of complexity, character evolution, character development. It's just, the storyline is just very good. The multiplayer is just as good as a single-player campaign. If you have fun with single-player campaign, you will have fun with multiplayer. That's why I feel like a lot of first-person shooter games lack is basically the enjoyable factor on both single-player and multiplayer. I feel first-person shooters have a great multiplayer, but not a great single-player. This is where Bioshock differs from some of the first-person shooter games. It has an equally great single-player and an equally great multiplayer. So you don't feel cheated about buying the game because you're going to get the full package. I think Bioshock is the full package for a first-person shooter. It has great graphics on all consoles as well as PC. It has a great story mode, a great single-player campaign, and it has a great multiplayer. This is the key things when I go out gaming shopping, when I look for a game. These are the three things that I look for: is the enjoyable factor on both single player and actually multiplayer. If it has both, if it just has single player, or if it just has multiplayer, that's the enjoyable factor, as well as graphics, how good the game looks. Those are the three things that I look for, and respectfully, not in those orders. The reason why I liked the Wii, because the Wii had a lot of great games. The enjoyable factor on the Wii was amazing. The graphics were not as great as the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3, but the enjoy factor, just enjoying the game, was very high. So that's why I actually have a Wii, and that's why I enjoy the Wii, because it's just the enjoyment factor, just enjoying of playing a game. So that is why Bioshock is number one, for those three reasons. It has great graphics on all consoles, not just Xbox 360, not just on the Xbox 360, but it has great graphics on actually all the consoles that it was ported for, as well as PC. The single player campaign is amazing. It's great to play. It's enjoyable, and the multiplayer aspect is great as well, as just as enjoyable. So that is why Bioshock Infinite has went to my number one spot for the best first-person shooter on the Xbox 360. This is Matthew. Thank you for watching, and always have an awesome day.